Hey there, banjo friends. Okay, well, this song actually was a suggestion from a commenter, and it was a song I'd actually never heard of before. But when I started listening to it, I really enjoyed it, and it's an Irish song, so it's good for St. Patrick's Day, and it is humorous, which is always the best kind of Irish song as far as I'm concerned. And it's a drinking song, which is also pretty typically Irish. And the song is called Johnny Jump Up. And it was originally, at least made famous, or relatively famous, by an Irish singer named Christy Moore. He had the most popular version of it. He apparently did not write it. I've seen it in at least one location. I saw it listed as a traditional song, but it's also somewhere else I saw it was credited to another Irish songwriter. I confess that name is escaping me at the moment, so I can't give credit to that person, assuming he's still around. But in any event, before I get into that, I just wanted to remind you that if you do enjoy these videos, then please do subscribe and hit like and hit the little bell and leave me a comment. I love comments. And also, if you really, really enjoy the videos, then please, by all means, I have a tip jar. The tip jar is available. There's a link in the description for this video, but there's also a little link in the lower right-hand corner of the background image on my YouTube channel page. And let's get started on this one. It's in 3/4 time, and we'll go into that a little bit when I'm done. So here we go. I'll tell you a story that happened to me. One day as I went down to Youghal by the sea, the sun it was hot and the day it was warm. Says I, a quiet pint wouldn't do me no harm. I went in and called for a bottle of stout. Says the barman, I'm sorry, the beer is sold out. Try whiskey or paddy, 10 years in the wood. Says I'll try cider, I've heard that it's good. Oh never, oh never, oh never again, if I live to 100 or 110. For I fell to the floor and I couldn't get up after drinking a pint of the Johnny Jump Up. After a quart, I made straight for the yard, where I bumped into Brophy, the big Irish guard. Come here, me boy, don't you know I'm the law? So I upped with me fist and I shattered his jaw. He fell to the ground with his knees doubled up, but it wasn't I hit him, 'twas Johnny Jump Up. The next thing I met down in Youghal by the sea was a cripple on crutches, and he says to me, I'm afraid of me life, I'll be hit by a car. Won't you help me across to the railwayman's bar? After downing a quart of that cider so sweet, he threw down his crutches and danced down the street. Oh never, oh never, oh never again, if I live to 100, 110. For I fell to the floor and I couldn't get up after drinking a pint of that Johnny Jump Up. I went up the Lee Road, a friend for to see. They called it the madhouse in Cork by the Lee. But when I got up there, sure truth to be told, they had my poor Pally locked up in a cell. Said the guard testing him, say these words if you can. Around the rugged rock, the ragged rascal ran. Tell them I'm not crazy, tell him I'm not mad. It was only a sup of the bottle I had. Oh never, oh never, oh never again. If I live to 100 or 110, or I fell to the floor and I couldn't get up after drinking a pint of that Johnny Jump Up. A man died in the Union by the name of McNabb. They washed him and laid him outside on the slab. And after the doctor his measurements did take, his wife took him home to a bloody fine wake. About 12 o'clock and the beer it was high, and the corpse he sat up and says he with a sigh, I can't get to heaven, they won't let me up, till I bring them a quart of that Johnny Jump Up. Oh never, oh never, oh never again. If I live to 100 or 110, or I fell to the floor and I couldn't get up after drinking a pint of that Johnny Jump Up. All right. So I have to admit that I don't know if you want to call them mistakes, but I varied the chords a little bit as I was going through there, but I'll try to be consistent when we go through it this time. It's really the same set of chords for each of the verses and the chorus, so whichever we choose upon or set upon will work. So anyway, so this is in 3/4 time, and as I've noted before, the standard, the normal Frailing strum that we use is a strike, a strum, and then a pluck up, a thumb on the 5th string. However, for 3/4 time, we go strike, strum, thumb. So it's strike, strum, thumb, strum, strike, strum, thumb. So let's try that again. Strike. So it's strike, strum, thumb, strum, thumb. Okay, I got it right that time, sorry. Strike, strum, thumb, strum, thumb. Now, a lot of the time, what I'm doing is I'm actually doing a hammer-on after the first strike. So it's... like that. And it starts out on A minor. Now when I'm doing my strum thumb, I'm doing strike, strum thumb, and the second strum I'm actually moving down and doing, instead of doing all 4 strings or 3 strings, I'm actually probably just doing the bottom 2 strings, or the top 2, the bottom 2, the first string and the second string. So but I'm not that consistent or accurate, and it doesn't really matter. But so if you want to do, it's completely up to you. Play around with it and find out which one you feel strongly about. Anyway, so we start off on the A minor, and the first line is completely on the A minor. So it's, I'll tell you a story that happened to me. Now it goes to G. One day as I went down to, now it goes to E minor. You're by the sea. Goes back to A minor. The sun, it was hot, and the day it was, now it goes to E minor. Warm, says I a quiet. So this kind of goes back and forth between the A minor and the E minor. Says I a quiet pint wouldn't do me no harm. So it goes to A minor, E minor, to A minor. Says I a quiet pint wouldn't do me no harm. Now sometimes I have to admit that instead of playing E minor, I will play a G. So it says, I a quiet pint wouldn't do me no harm. And sometimes I actually like the sound of the G better than the E minor. So what I would say is, if one of them sounds better to you, then do that, or if one of them is easier to you, easier for you, then do that. But it says, I a quiet pint wouldn't do me no harm. Now it goes to the second verse. I went in and called for a bottle of stout. Says I, the barman. Says the barman, I'm sorry. Now it goes to E minor. The beer is sold out. And that goes to A minor again. Try whiskey or patty, 10 years in the wood. Now it goes to E minor. And then says, I'll try cider, I've heard that it's good. Or it says, I'll try cider, A minor to G to A minor. It says, I'll try cider, I've heard that it's good. Actually, I think I like the G better. Now it goes to the chorus, which is the same. Same frailing strum. Oh never, oh never again. If I live to 100 or 110. So it goes to starts with the A minor. Oh never, oh never, oh never. So what I would try to do is, on those oh nevers, try to synchronize the ne, the N in never, with the strike. So it's oh never, oh never, oh never again. If I live to 100, goes to the G. If I live to 100 or 110. For I fell to the floor and I couldn't get up. So A minor, fell to the floor and I couldn't get up. And it goes to E minor. After drinking a pint of that Johnny Jump Up. Yeah, I like the G better. After drinking a pint of the Johnny Jump Up. Now, some people actually go back and forth a little more on that last line. After drinking a pint of that Johnny Jump. Drinking a pint of that Johnny Jump Up. Drinking a pint of that Johnny Jump Up. You could do it this way. Drinking a pint of that Johnny Jump. Goes to the G and then to the E minor and to the A minor. Drinking a pint of that Johnny Jump Up. Now there are a couple of different recorded versions of this song that Christy Moore did. I believe the very first version he did, he's actually playing it in a higher key. He's playing it with a B minor to A. To make that a little easier, if you have a capo, and any old capo will do, even if it's a guitar capo. This is a banjo capo, and I've got one of those little pinny things for the fifth string. But this was actually the original key that he recorded it in. He then did a later version that's live, where he did it in the lower key that I was just showing you. But in the recorded version, it's a little faster, and he does it up here instead. I'll tell you a story that happened to me one day as I went down to Lyon by the sea. The sun, it was hot, and the day, it was warm. I said a quiet pint wouldn't do me no harm. I went in and called for a bottle of stout. Says the barman, I'm sorry, the beer is sold out. Try whiskey or paddy, 10 years in the wood. 'Cause I'll try cider, I've heard that it's good. Anyway, so he did it that way. And if you don't have a capo, you can do it just with playing the chords, but it's a little harder. So then it becomes B minor. I'll tell you a story that happened to me. So your A minor becomes a B minor here, and then it goes, instead of a G, you're going to an A. which is barred across here. The sun, it was, one day as I went down to, now this is the tricky part because the E minor now becomes an F sharp minor, which means you have a bar across here and you're playing down by the sea. The sun, it was hot, and the day, it was warm. So you're going back and forth between the B minor and the F sharp minor. It was warm. I said quiet pipe wouldn't do me no harm. So it takes a bit of practice to be able to play it that way. It's a lot easier if you do the capo, if you want to do it in that higher key. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoy your St. Patrick's Day and you get a chance to work on this song and maybe play it for some friends for the celebration. Anyway, you all have a good time, and I'll see you in, I don't know, about a week. Take care. Bye.